There we are. We are on. Welcome to Happy Hour Live. What is going on, everybody? Glad to have you here. We're running a little bit late. Somebody has parked some music not too far away from where we're at, and it wasn't here just a minute ago.
A minute ago.
No, we found this spot, and
there's the Old Mill Towers.
There's the Old Mills Towers. Yeah, if you can see it. And we got the bridge. You can see the bridge in between. That was on the thumbnail that we had earlier. And normally very quiet down here at the Old Mill District. Tonight, what have they got going on down here?
Some huge concert, and the parking is just there's no parking.
And we didn't know this until we drove down here to try to find some place to set up, and thought, okay, this isn't going to be easy. So Miss Karen, glad to have you along. Hi guys, how you doing? Oh, we've got bad lighting here too. Look at it, I'm all dark.
Well, we can't do anything about it. We want our background, right?
Yeah, we got So if we turned a little bit that way and scooched a little bit, we'd get, those are the famous smokestacks for the Old Mill. Let's see if I can move over here a little bit. Yeah, there we go.
Lost the smokestacks. Okay, wait. No, son. No, wait.
This is a quality show. You've come.
Y'all know what to expect.
Yeah. And I guess they were expecting me to be late, because I was late again tonight. Oh my gosh. We are going to talk about setting up for full-time RV life, and it's different than your average weekender when they get their rig and they're taking the family out and going out for the weekend. But it's different when you go full-time, isn't it?
Yep.
You know that. Now you have set up your own rig, and I've been helping you do that.
Different options.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. But let's see. I have to be able to read. You can probably read through yours.
Yeah, my computer's dead in the water right now, so I can't read or come into the room ahead of time and talk to everybody. So
yeah, and I've got a very small picnic table that we were able to find in a quiet area with the smokestacks there in the background here.
Now, what's the one thing you just? Okay, can you see?
Yeah, there.
What's the one thing you wanted to mention before we got started?
What's that?
Your battery power.
Oh, yeah. So let me warn you guys. I thought the laptop was charging, and we are. Let's just start it off here. It says we're at 62%. So we're gonna see.
We're not sure we're going to make it for
yeah, and we've got a lot of topics to cover, but let me go back and give a shout out. I know, because I saw Cowboy Biker Adventures. He was in here first in the house. Jim Bertrand came by. He actually sent an email and said that he was there up camping, so with no signal. So he managed to say hi in the chat room before
check in on how we were doing.
Yep. WCRV Adventures, glad to have you. That's Wayne and Carrie. HC Carefree Highway.
Hi
guys. We just met with them. That is Howard and Cindy, and they came by the other day. It was good to see them. They just came over to Central Oregon. They wanted to check out the ranch, and we gave them you gave them the tour by the time that I got over there. Yeah.
We just visited a little, and
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it was great seeing you guys. Don and Gail, we got to see you guys last week, and that was fun. X Fired Up is in the house. RV Living Life, Gary Carroll, how you guys doing? Cosmic Mermaid and Starman, yep, there they are. They're back in Colorado. And guess what, guys? They took our gremlins with them. So yeah, we got quite quite the text from those guys, and wow, it just went on and on.
They're going to try anything and everything to get rid of those gremlins, including exorcism and smudging.
I think they're going to sell that coach. They're going to. I have a feeling he's at wit's end with the electrical problems and the little problems that they've had on that rig. It's a beautiful rig, guys. Got to see it the other day. And hopefully you don't. Hopefully you get that figured out. Yep, absolutely. So Richard M is in the house. Glad to have you here. Let's see, who else have we got down there? Ralph Hattenberg is in the house. Good evening to you as well. I saw one new name in the house. We'll give him a shout out if I can find him down here somewhere. I'm just going back through because you guys always start off before I ever get here, but RV Vagabond Travels, you're not new, you've been here to the channel before. Good to see you guys again. Welcome back. Glad to have you guys here. Who was it though? I saw a new name I didn't recognize, and I thought, gosh, that is great to have you here. Don Profin, there he is right there. Hello from Bob and Barbara.
Bob and Barbara.
Yeah, so glad
they've been around before.
Yep, glad to have you guys.
Have they been?
Okay.
Yeah, they were parked next to us at Thousand Trails down in Sun River.
Okay.
Remember they had the Class B?
Oh, that is right. Yeah, and we're going to be talking about Class Bs. We're talking about Class Cs and a little bit of everything tonight on this one. But glad that you guys are here too. And don't be afraid to fire up. RV Rant is in the house. How you guys doing? I almost grabbed their cup.
Oh, right.
I actually had it in the truck, and I was going to grab it, and unfortunately, we forgot. We forgot my cup. So,
when we couldn't find the spot that we wanted, we were kind of in a big rush.
Yeah,
because we're like, okay, now where?
Yeah, because our first 3 spots that we thought about parking that wasn't going to work. So, I am cupless, but I do have this. I don't and
it's breezy.
Yeah, I like it. This
it's a cool day.
Yeah,
we're loving the cool day.
I think the high was only 76 today.
Yeah, 76.
Yeah, so woo-hoo. Yeah,
nice change.
Yep. There you go. RV Background Travels. It's Debbie and Rod. Glad to have you guys here. Good to see you. Have we met them on the road before?
I don't think we've actually met.
Have we met you guys? Let us know if we meet so many people.
Yeah, and they've followed the channel.
Yeah,
for some time.
Absolutely. All right. Anyway, so how has the week been going? Let's touch on the week here really quick. So last week, I don't know if we mentioned it or not, but we upgraded your battery system. What did we have to do that?
He had to weld a rack to put them on because there wasn't anywhere to put them.
We added 2 more golf cart batteries, and there is some unused space that I said, you know what, if we got a little bit of metal, we could weld that in and get you set up.
Once again, the welder comes to save the day.
I told you guys, I use that welder all the time.
And it's not that big. It's like a box thing.
Yeah, so it's about the size of a toolbox, I think.
It doesn't take up much space.
Yeah, they're a little heavy, but not too bad.
Yeah.
So if you're weight conscious, but I'll tell you what, if you know how to weld, you probably know that a welder is something you want to bring along with you. I use that thing all the time. I really do.
And not just on his stuff, helping other people with their stuff.
Helping other people with their rigs. So absolutely. But no, we haven't met yet. There you go. So we look forward. I know one of these days it's too small of a world. We will definitely see you guys and meet up with you guys. So, what else did we work on this week? You've been working on, of all things, painting.
Yes.
But now Miss Karen is a excellent painter. But you haven't been painting your normal.
Not pictures.
No. What?
I'm repainting all the stripes since they're all faded and peeled and chunked out and
Yeah.
cosmetics.
Yep.
She's looking good.
Yeah,
now.
she's really looking good. You're doing a great job on that.
Thanks,
Yeah.
thanks.
So
It's a lot of work because there's a lot of stripes on there.
if you have an older RV and you're wondering what to do with those stripes, I'll tell you what, Miss Karen, hopefully you're making a video or doing something there that you can kind of show
a lot of
that.
Photos, some snippets of video.
Yeah. But it is looking absolutely fantastic. So you're doing a good job
She's
on that.
pretty.
Yeah, she is pretty. She is. Oh, yeah, it is right there. Temps in the 70s reminds me of September, early October in Central Oregon. Perfect weather.
It is.
Absolutely.
Today has been wonderful.
You know, the summers are that way in Central Oregon in general. We had a week there where we got really hot, but otherwise it's been 70s, 80s. I think we had
80s,
couple weeks where it got into the 90s, but you can generally count on one hand how many times it ever gets to 100 degrees here.
Right. The unusual part was hitting the hundreds in June, which is never happens. But hey, it's just been in 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
So it's been good.
Absolutely. Well, we've got a lot to cover. We're going to see if we can cover it all. But, you've decided you want to do the full-time RV life thing, and either you're going to buy a used vehicle, a used RV, or you're going to buy a new one. We're going to talk a little bit about that. These are just our opinions, and this is based off of
always,
our the last 4 years of traveling, meeting up with different people, some of the gripes, some of the things they love about their rigs. And I thought, let's just share that a little bit, because it can be a little daunting when you try to think, well, what kind of rig do we really want to go out and do it? And I'm going to give a shout out to Wayne and Carrie, WCRV Adventures. Out of all the people that we've met, they've really done it the right way. They thought about the rig that they wanted to have to do this, and then they went and actually rented those rigs and lived in them for a number of times. Yeah, absolutely.
Several times and experienced it.
Yeah, and I can't stress that enough. If you've never done it before, if you're not sure, boy, if you can rent something similar to what you think that you want to live in, the length, and just try it out, that is the way to go, rather than spending a lot of money
and getting the wrong one
and not really knowing, right? Yeah, not really knowing.
Going, oh no, this is not working.
Yeah. So I will definitely point to you guys, Wayne and Carrie. You guys have done it right, and I think they talked about if they're going to come to Quartzsite, they may end up renting another rig, because they're not going to have their rig ready to pick up until the first part of next year. So yeah. Oh my gosh, here it is. Oh yeah, there's hot right there. 102 and 89 now. Wow, Dawn gets around. Yeah. Were you just in Texas or New Mexico, I think, or something like that? Slow down, Dawn.
He's been headed up north for some time.
Okay, all right. Yeah, he was in Utah. I want to do Utah. And RV Living Life has got smoked fish. Oh, yes. We see a lot of it here. Yeah, we see a lot of that here. The salmon. Yeah, a lot of the salmon. But they're up in Canada, Yeah.
Access.
Yeah. Let's see there. Dave, even with the things change over time. Yeah, they sure do. Absolutely. That you kind of learn that stuff as you're going along, and it's like, what I thought, maybe I want to change it up. Some people go to smaller rigs, some people go to larger rigs. I recommended getting a little bit larger rig than what you think. Once upon a time, I think we had it on a live, or we had it on a video. And that was kind of my recommendation back then, and it still kind of is, because by and large, most people I hear of it was too small. what they decided and what they chose and what they went out on the road with was a little bit too small. But there's been a number of them that said, you know what, I want a shorter rig. I want a smaller rig. Including a lot of YouTubers out there. And
that's true.
And they switched to a smaller rig because they found it was easier to get in and out of places.
A lot of places,
parking lots and things like that. So I kind of look at it as those are temporary spots, temporary things. What may aggravate you or irritate you for that moment, you don't think about it when you have all of that room, or if you have a longer rig with more space that you're actually in it all the time. So that moment you may irritate you because the rig is so long you can't get into some place. But the other 365 days you're enjoying that,
having that much room.
So
you got to figure out what works.
There it is right there. We have learned so much from renting and even more from friends like you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I'm telling you, that is just a great idea. So if you're not sure what kind of rig you want to do, I'm sure they would recommend, I am recommending, absolutely go out there and see if you can rent that. Yeah, absolutely. Gary Carroll said they don't get any longer than the ones. Yeah, no, I think you guys got a long way. You got a
they
big
started
one.
at the top.
Yeah.
That's
So
all right, though.
You're
coming out of a full-size house,
right?
So
yeah. And you're gonna find out if you love your spouse. Most definitely, real quick, because you're going to be in that same 400 square feet for a long time, and But no, I still say longer is bigger. Bigger is better, and
if you're not sure.
Then if you're not sure, and then later on down the road, if you want to downsize a little bit, I've seen people. Who was it? I can't remember. One of the big YouTubers out there, they went from a small one to a large rig and then back down to a small one.
Well, Camper Van Kevin did.
And Kevin did, absolutely.
He went up to a larger Class A, but he's back down to a Class C now.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and
but he's kind of been up and down and all over the place. I don't know.
When he's developed a lot of years of experience, and that's kind of the difference there is, once you get used to your lifestyle. Now he's alone too. I mean, so there was a long time, Kevin. I don't know how many have watched Camper Van Kevin. He started off in a van. I can remember his van. So, he's moved up and down and he's fluttering right around in the Class C, and I think that is kind of his sweet spot there. So let's just go up. I'm going to throw some banners up here. And the first one is going to be what kind of rig. And that's really what you're going to have to decide. What are you looking for?
So you're talking
full time for me.
Gas or diesel?
Well, not yet. Not yet. Okay. No, we're talking about, because there's bumper poles. So I've had a little bit of everything through my life. I had a a tent. I'm a hiker.
Tent.
Yeah. In fact, I still have a tent in the coach.
Everybody starts out tenting.
Yeah, and I still have a backpack in the coach. I haven't done it in a long time.
And then you add an air mattress because the ground is too hard and it hurts. And then you decide maybe I need some more comfort, and I'm going to move up to a bumper pole camp.
Yeah, that's what I had. I said 17-foot Aristocrat. I think it was a 1967. It was. I love that rig.
That's an older rig.
That was a great rig. It was a great. There were no leaks. It was really a great rig.
So, did you ever have a camper?
I did. I switched over to a pickup bed camper, and had that for at least 10 years. And that was a great rig for getting around. At the time, my son was racing. Chris was racing motorcycles, and we were traveling all around the Northwest. And it was easy. It was easy to set up. It was easy to take off. I could use my work truck. And now the difference was, it's a bit tight.
Yeah. I've only been in one before, and
Yeah.
it was a snug aisleway to climb up to the bed,
Right.
and you could squeeze yourself into the dining area.
Yeah.
But the kitchen was all right there, and it's all just one little area.
Yep. And when we had the whole family on race weekends or camping weekends, a lot of times some of the kids they'd opt for the tent outside.
There's more room in a tent.
There's more room in a tent. You know. But when we were all squeezed into the camper, there were 2 adults in the adult bed up above. There were 2 kids, my 2 daughters in the dinette bed, and then my son usually was sleeping on the floor. So
that's a tight fit.
Yeah, that was a tight fit. So again, not something I think that I would consider full time. But I know some couples out there do. Yeah, absolutely. And it's whatever works for you. I can say that it probably had more room than a Class B. There's been
because you got that whole bunk area up front.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Or the I wouldn't say bunk area, the queen supposedly or full up front.
Yeah. So it had more room than a Class B, but I've seen a lot of people out in Class Bs, and they seem very happy with them. We've met a few of them out there, including one tonight. You guys will have to comment and let us know if you're happy with your Class B, if you're still in that, and how's that going. So yeah. And then after that, I moved up to motorhomes. And I had a 36-foot gas Southwind. Yeah. And after that, then I bought the Endeavor. I've had the Endeavor ever since then. But I had that 36-foot gasser for a lot of years. But it had enough to go out and do camping, but it really wasn't enough to do full-time RVing.
Right.
So how about you in your years? What have you had?
Tenting, of course, and finally decided that it's not very fun to be in a tent anymore. And went to a bumper pull.
Yeah.
27 feet, and it was really nice to have a couple slides, the whole cushy bed. That was a big improvement.
Yeah, absolutely. And 27 feet, I'd say that first 6 feet anyway on the Endeavor is not really, we use it because the TV's up there.
Right.
But it's not really part of the floor, the general floor space. So everything from the couches back and I can say it's a little bit much by myself. Now it's like a little too much room. So if I was, single and looking at doing something like this, I'd probably opt for something shorter.
A little shorter.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
now the Class C that I have is 29 feet, and for just me, it's a good amount of space. It's just right.
Yeah. Have you ever had a fifth wheel?
No, never had a fifth wheel.
My parents had fifth wheels, and I have to tell you guys, I really like the option. My brother now has one. They just went full-time last year. And, there's really a lot to be said. There's pros and cons of every one of them.
Yeah.
So there is no wrong or right answer.
No, it's all about your situation and what you're doing and what you're looking for.
And what you're comfortable with, and what you can be comfortable with. So, yeah. So, shopping and testing out different things. I had that experience before I got the Endeavor. And I haven't regretted it since. I often look at it and I don't know what I'd do if I didn't have it, Right. So I don't know that I'd switch. I might switch to a fifth wheel, if I didn't have the Endeavor someday, I might switch to a fifth wheel. They have more room. I really like that.
But then you have to have a really good truck. that can handle pulling all
You
that
can.
weight for long term.
You can.
Yeah.
I think
which is an expensive thing.
it is.
That's why I opted not for a bumper pull, because I didn't want to delve into finding a good track.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I would say the other thing is what kind of traveling do you want to do, and how much traveling? Yeah. If you're really, I've had the 70-mile rule, and I really like that. And the Class A is comfortable for doing that. Where it would be more comfortable is if I was doing 300, 400 miles per day. I think I'd appreciate it more. Being in a fifth wheel, I think if I was doing the shorter trips that I'm doing now, when I do travel 70 miles a day, I think I'd rather be in a pickup truck. Yeah, I don't think there'd be any issue with that. So,
okay.
Yeah. So, actually, I haven't totally ruled it out. So, we went from, there's one right there. RV Living Life. They went from tenting to a pop-up trailer. Yep. Renting Class C and now a Class A. Yeah. And that's the way to do it. All right. So let's move on to the next one here.
Oh, okay. There's the gas.
Yeah, there you go. Gas or diesel, and that's a big debate out there. I had my reasons for getting a diesel. I had my experience with driving the diesels cross country before I got my rig, but now you've got a gas.
Yeah.
Now, is that, any problem? Any thoughts on that?
What I like about the gas, when we were trying to find diesel places to fill up, number one, you got to make sure you can get into the place. And there's a lot less places that have diesel that you can get into. So you would kind of have to do a whole exploration and hunt to find where you're going to fill up with diesel.
Right.
But with the gas rig, and of course shorter, I can just kind of pull in anywhere. I'm like, you can find, I'm right there. Poof. Yeah. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, it's a lot easier finding gas, isn't it?
It's a lot easier.
Absolutely.
It is.
Absolutely.
But the shorter height helps too, because you don't have to be so worried about that, hitting.
Shorter length, shorter height. Yeah, it's absolutely. And, it's typically gas is cheaper than diesel. But that is kind of changed a little bit. Yeah. So in my mind, for what I was thinking before I started this, is knowing that I was going to be hauling a lot of weight. The coach is about 40,000 pounds with the pickup truck being towed behind it.
Right.
And I really didn't want to put that kind of strain and pressure on a gas engine.
Now, don't the diesel engines last so much longer?
That's the other thing.
They do.
Yeah, they are
built to go.
They are really built to, if you take care of them, at least 500,000
miles.
Yeah, and most of them are million-mile motors. So,
that's a big plus.
It's not a guarantee, but I'll tell you, just knowing that, and I do take care of my rig. They are more expensive to take care of, though. You have about 6 quarts of oil in your rig. I have 6 gallons.
That's a lot of oil.
Dang. Yeah, it's a lot of oil. So they are more expensive to maintain. I don't know. I don't think they get as good a gas mileage as your rig does. What are you getting for yours in your low Class C?
The one time that I wasn't sitting and running my generator, when I was actually doing travel days back to back, I got about 8.
Mm-hmm. And that's typical for an unloaded coach. I drove a lot of them cross country for the diesel pushers. But once you add water, you add all of your stuff, you add a tow car. I can't really differentiate. I run the generator as well when I'm boondocking. So you know as well as I do, it generally averages out to about 6.5 miles per gallon. Yeah. Now I get about 7 on the highway if I'm just running straight through, 7 to 7.5. So you don't buy these for the gas mileage.
No. At all.
Although there's some Class Bs out there, the Mercedes Class B, and they're using a Mercedes chassis, and I've heard reports of them getting in the teens for fuel mileage. So there is something to be said for that, because
cut back on space, but you can have good gas mileage.
Get good gas mileage. You can go further. Absolutely. Maybe. So, yeah. Yeah, Class A diesel rides so much better than a Class A gasser from experience. Had both. I can say that to a certain extent, but I have been in some of the newer ones, and I was very impressed. They were very comfortable. Yeah, very comfortable. So, but yeah, generally it's a little bit quieter. You know, your engine is up front on the gassers,
right?
So you typically. You've got air ride suspension generally on the diesel pushers that you don't have. But other than that, yeah. The more weight tends to be a little more stable going down the road.
Okay.
Yeah. Not generally affected by wind. I mean, in all the travels that we have done, has wind really ever been that big of a factor?
No.
Not really. Yeah, it's just too much weight to be pushing around. So I felt that was a little bit better than my old gasser that I had. So
okay.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah. Oh, that's not bad. 9. Every now and then I hear some people getting 9s and 10s, and
with a 42 foot. All right.
Yeah, and I did drive one coach one time. This was back in the 90s to Florida for Beaver coaches, and I got 13.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
and that was on the trip computer. That was not me measuring it or anything else. Right. But I was really shocked. Now I couldn't. At the time, I didn't realize how big of a deal that was until I got back and started talking to some of the other drivers, and
right.
So
what?
That is definitely the exception, not the rule. So, oh, there's one. They just did 500 miles with the generator running as well to keep the top ACs going, and got 8.8. That's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah,
that's impressive.
Absolutely. You know, the generator does not use that much fuel.
Yeah. No.
I think with the 7.5 that I've got, which is very comparable to the 8K now on the own ends, I get about 3 hours per gallon of fuel.
Yeah.
So if you're driving 60 miles an hour, that's about 180 miles for 1 gallon of fuel. And so, you know, when you start looking at now, when you're sitting for long periods of time,
yeah,
you know, that's
just running your generator
and just running the generator every day. Yeah, then you kind of notice that fuel missing a little bit. Yeah, because I'm typically losing about 1 gallon per day. So if I'm sitting there for 14 days, well, I've lost about 14 gallons of fuel, and that may or may not show.
Yeah,
it's going to affect the fuel mileage a little bit.
Just a little.
Yeah. Dodd's got a nice gasser. Yeah, his gasser rides great. Yeah, I have to say, I've been in a couple of them, and I do like them. So, yeah, I think the older ones now. My old 36 footer. Yeah, that was going way back when, and it did not ride as well as the coach does. No, absolutely not.
All right, what's your next point?
All right, so let's go on to the next one, because we got to try to get through some of these.
Your battery's sinking fast.
Yeah, it is too. Let's see, give a battery update here. 42%. So we're going to see if we can make it. We're going to have to power up. We're going to have to power through some of these and see if we can get it, because I love talking about this stuff. But so a lot of these rigs, new from the dealership, comes with one battery, right?
One?
Just one, right? One 12-volt
No
battery.
bueno.
And a lot of them, brand new rigs, don't come with inverters or generators.
Okay, that's weird. But yeah.
Yeah, and so
Or
if
solar.
this may work for just doing the weekend warrior, going out with the family, doing roughing it, so to speak. Oh, you don't need to run the TV anyway,
But full timing is a different story.
But full timing is a different story. So one of the things that you're going to have to consider is your basic power system, which is I'm going to recommend right here and now is at least 2 batteries. I'm recommending at least 4 6-volt golf cart batteries.
Deep cycle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
And then the other side of that is an inverter, because you're going to need power. And I apologize for the music in the background. Hopefully you don't hear it, but
they're floating by.
they are floating by.
They paused under the bridge.
Let's see if we could show them here. Where are they? Oh, there they are. All right. So there's our copyright strike for the night. So can't wait to get that email.
Look what you got.
But yeah, and now we've upgraded yours. We put in an inverter.
Yes.
And we've added on to your 2 golf cart batteries. We've bumped you up to 4 golf cart batteries. I think you're going to be doing pretty good.
Yeah.
And I'd say that's pretty much a minimum that you're going to need for full time. I have seen so many people come out and try it with 1 battery.
I can't imagine.
Now, if they're going park to park, it would probably work.
Yeah, it's about the lifestyle, what you like doing.
Right. If you're going to want to boondock, if you're going to want to be out in nature, you want to go to campgrounds and things like that and not have hookups.
And there are a lot of people that like to just go from park to park, being plugged in, having all that.
Right. And then the other side of this is you've got to have some way to charge this. And the biggest mistake that I've seen is people not coming out with a generator or solar. They're going to try to start their car and run their car and try to charge their battery.
No bueno.
No.
Back to no bueno.
No bueno. So you're gonna have to power up your rig, and that's gonna be an inverter, batteries, generator. Absolutely. There's no 2 ways in my mind. Now solar is questionable. I love my solar. You're loving your solar.
Oh yeah.
But we know from experience we love our boondocking. And so solar is not even a question for us.
Free power.
Yeah, absolutely. But now some people don't. And I personally, I don't recommend going out and buying big solar until you've gone out and tried boondocking and decided that's something that you really want to do, because it is quite the expense to make that happen.
But at the very least, you got to have at least a small generator, some way to charge everything back up again.
Yeah, but you've got to have some way, even a small portable, something that you can plug in just to run your battery charger, just to charge up your batteries. Absolutely. Even my son has asked me, I'm thinking about putting solar on there. Do you have a generator yet? If you don't have a generator, get a generator first. Even a cheapie from Harbor Freight, but have a generator, something that you can fire up. Do not try to run your vehicle to charge your batteries. It's not going to work. And you're going to burn your alternator up in the meanwhile.
Yeah.
So absolutely, no, power up. All right, so here's another one. We'll go. Here's now. Slides. To slide or not to slide?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I love my slides, guys, but I know there's a lot of people out there that's like, I don't want anything to do with slides. Right? Now your rig is comfortable, I admit.
Yeah, it's the right size for me. And to me, slides would be one more thing that might have a problem, and I might have to figure out how to fix.
Right.
I'm like, I don't want that headache.
It's one more thing to break.
Yeah.
One more thing to break. Yeah, absolute. And depending on the setup of your slides, it can really cut off the use of your coach. I know a lot of these fifth wheels, when those slides are in, you really can't get to the rest of the coach to actually live in it.
Right.
So if you have a problem with your slides.
Well, and that's one of the things you were looking for when you were shopping.
Yeah.
Was a setup. When the slides are in, you can still use everything you need to in the coach.
That is huge, guys. So
I think the concert's starting.
The concert's starting.
We're gonna have some background noise.
We're gonna have some background noise because I don't know if a live concert will actually hit a copyright strike or not, but
we'll figure it out, won't we?
But yeah, that was huge. So I knew from driving coaches that there was one particular floor plan that Beaver Coaches was putting out that the slides interfered, and when they were in, which they were when we were delivering them, you couldn't go back to the back section of the coach at all.
Yeah, totally cut it off.
To this day, on that floor plan of Beaver Coaches, hopefully I'll run into somebody that has one, because I've never seen what the bedroom looks like. I've never seen what the bathroom looks like, because we never, as drivers, we couldn't go back there and open up the slides and
well,
look
they
at
didn't
it.
want you to anyways.
Yeah.
But 7 o'clock is concert time.
So are we should we turn around? Why don't we turn around real quick?
That'll cut off that
noise. we got about 19 minutes left, and I don't think we want to scream over the music. They won't. Hold on, guys. Let's get you turned around here.
Didn't think it was gonna be that noisy, but all right.
Boy, it sure is too.
And it's getting cool. I like it.
Okay, we weren't expecting that. So,
well,
we're
gonna tip the table over.
Don't tip the table over. Hopefully the music sound is a little bit better. Oh, they said they can't hear the music, so I feel like I have to yell because we can hear it quite well. So,
free concert.
I knew from the slides, so that was the big thing, is I didn't want the slides to interfere with the floor plan, because there are many times when I need to park, traveling or what have you.
Like in a rest area.
Some of these casinos, and you can't put out the slides. And Tom and Lori actually brought up an interesting one I hadn't thought about before, and that is the fold-out steps.
Right.
And if you are in one of these tight places, like say at a rest area, you can't fold down those steps. There isn't enough room to fold down those steps. So how are you going to get into your rig?
In and out. Yeah.
Yeah. So something to consider. Now, when I was looking for my own coach, I wanted a minimum of 2 slides. I wanted one on the living room and one on the bedroom, just to give that little extra space in both of those 2 living areas.
Now, Lori says, yes, definitely can hear the music.
definitely can hear the music. Yeah, we're getting ready for that copyright strike. So we'll see. The lighting is better, though, so they can see us. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Oh.
I don't mind the music.
Yeah. Now, you didn't get a slide. You didn't want any slides.
I didn't want to deal with it.
Didn't want to deal with
the mechanics of it.
Right. Do you miss that now? Because you've been in there for a while now.
No.
And okay. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go. I mean, I can say that I've heard of problems with all of the different mechanical slides. So none of them are really immune to problems.
Right.
So Yeah.
You've had to replace a pin or a bolt.
I have shear pins on mine, and I've had to replace. In fact, I carry
Twice?
extra. Yeah, at least twice.
Twice now.
Yeah, so I carry extra ones on the coach for that. But also slides. Almost all your slides, guys, have a manual way to bring in your slides. If you have slides, you kind of need to know how to do that, because there could be the time when you can't get your slides in
Right.
with the button, and now you're going to have to manually bring that in, and it's not an easy task, and you really should know how to do it. So if you have slides out there, make sure that happens. But yeah, Tom and Lori said their rig is not livable with the slides in. Yeah,
They have to have them
yeah.
out.
Now, Lori, does that make a difference? Would you change that if you decided to change rigs? Would you change that?
Would you look for one that was more livable?
Yeah, because I know my brother and
slides
Sherry, they with their new rig, they didn't realize that until they started living in it and realized what a big deal that was.
So theirs is not livable?
No.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Another strike.
I think you can get at the bathroom, but they have the stairs that fold all the way out.
Right.
So if you're in a tight spot, you can't get those stairs out. So, yeah. All right, let's go on to the next one here. Let's see if we can give another one.
His battery is ticking away.
The battery is ticking away, and so is the time. So we're going to try to get onto these. Something old, something new. Should you buy brand new? Or should you buy used? And I have never been a proponent of either. I say you buy what works for you. I won't say to buying used and buying new.
Well, even the people we know that buy new, they end up having to fix a number of things. And then the people who buy used, they have to fix a number of things.
So the reality is, with any RV, you're going to spend the first 2 years ironing out all the bugs. It just is going to happen. Not everything is perfect.
Yep.
And I don't know of any perfect coach manufacturers out there that do it. And here's the reality: if you're buying it because you know the warranty is there, so somebody else can fix it, you will find that turns into a big pain in the butt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially when you're living in it full time. You have to find an RV dealer that is willing to work on your rig while you're living in it. And a lot of RV repair places don't have RV parks or someplace. Some do. And I always recommend, if you're going to get warranty work done, make that part of your search for finding a shop to work on your rig.
Right.
Is, do you have an RV park someplace where we can live in the coach? We don't need a hotel, because that can get quite spendy as well if it takes them 2 weeks to
fix whatever it is that's gone wrong. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there you go. And the same here. We've been more than a few times we use the coach for days without the slides out. A little cramped, but it stays much warmer, especially if it's windy. I didn't think about that. You know, in the winter, when you can tighten up that space inside, or even the summer when it's hot and you're trying to cool it down, taking away that square footage allows it to warm up and to cool down
easier.
So much easier. So yeah, having that ability. So that was part of what I was looking for when I was doing that. So thanks for that.
And the next comment.
Oh yeah. Right now the used market is crazy. Prices are so high. Yeah, absolutely. Guys, right now is probably a seller's market for the for RVs, for used RVs.
Yep.
And new, really. But yeah, right now we were just talking about this earlier, and I'd say used prices are probably about twice
what they should be.
What they should
normally are.
Yeah. So there is something to be said for that. So we're hoping that it'll
shift back.
Yeah. Well, calm down. I don't know. With that said, though, if nobody buys new RVs, well, our used RVs are going to be worth a mint because our RV manufacturers are going to go out of business, and then we're going to be the only ones in the zombie apocalypse that have RVs.
Our home on wheels.
Right? Exactly. So, no, I say go whichever direction is right for you. I knew used was right for me. I just couldn't fathom spending the kind of money that they want for a new rig. But there's a lot of people out there that don't have a problem with that, and absolutely they should do that if that's comfortable for them. Absolutely.
All right, next.
Yeah, I think Don is agreeing with me. The prices on used ones are about twice what they should be going for, which is good news. If you want to sell your rig, now is the time to sell it. Don and Gail out there, you want to get rid of that rig, now's a good time. Yeah, I think you can actually make a profit on it from over what you bought it for. So
just leave the gremlins in it and sell it.
Yeah, sell it. I don't know. Do you have to disclose gremlins? If gremlins are living in the coach?
I don't think so.
Fog it. Just fog it.
Bomb it.
Go to the grocery store, get the little 4-pack of foggers.
Do the whole rig.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't know.
Gosh. Yeah.
What gets rid of the gremlins?
That's the way I like it, right there. We bought 5 years old and saved a bundle. Very low mileage too.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's mine. That's what I like doing right there, let's see if we can go on to the next one here, because we talked about this a little bit. How many feet does it take?
Everybody's different.
Everybody's different. Guys, there's people out there living in Jeeps.
Yeah,
and they have a back seat about this big. I don't know. I don't know how they do it. So that would be like 0 square feet. I don't know.
Even the vans are too small.
Yeah. So, I go back to how many feet. It really depends on what you want for comfort and livability, and again goes towards, rent it. If you think you'd like a 40-footer, go out and rent one.
I looked at a number of Class C's and I wanted a shorter one, but the bed, the shorter ones, there's 2 couches in the back.
Right.
And you have to make it down into a bed every night. And I'm like, no, that's not for me.
Right.
I would rather have the walk around. I got a longer rig so I could have a real bed in back and be able to walk around it.
Right. And you had to go 27 feet to get that.
29, yeah.
Okay. So, I can tell you that the state parks, most of your campgrounds that were built back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s,
only take up to 28 feet.
28 feet. Yeah.
I can fudge.
28.
I can say I'm 28.
Yeah. 28 feet seems to be the magic number when you go to a lot of those older campgrounds. And so if your plan is to stay in some of these campgrounds, you probably want to be underneath that.
Yeah.
Now, I go 1,000 trails to 1,000 trails, encore to encore, and also, boondocking out in the middle of nowhere. I don't usually have to worry. There's no limits, typically.
They accept the 45 footers
but we've only stayed in the 4 years we've been doing it, we've only stayed a couple times at campgrounds, and for the most part 28 feet was the limit on that.
Yeah.
And you go pulling a 40-foot rig in, and the gal at the front little kiosk there, her eyes get about this big.
She goes, you want what?
You want what?
Size?
We don't have room for that in here. It is a factor. So keep that in mind. The Achilles heel of boondocking and camping in general. You knew it when you had your family and you were out camping, and now it's no different. This will be, water is the factor.
How much fresh water do you have?
Yeah, because that's going to make all the difference on how long you can stay out someplace if you like boondocking.
Yes.
That water becomes a magical thing.
It does.
Especially places like Quartzsite, where they charged gold for that.
Because it's so much desert.
Yeah, it
water
really
is hard to find, hard to come by. So yeah, they charge for it.
Yeah, they do. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's go back and check the comments here real quick. Oh, there's Gary, did you really say that? Or maybe that was Carol.
Dang.
Yeah. And Dodd says, okay, we're not going to say what Dodd says there.
Good one, Don.
You're right. We have the time to wait. Oh yeah, 100 gallons. That's what I've got on the coach. Now, how many have you got? What?
31.
31.
31.
Yeah.
But then again, it's just me. So
yeah.
Dude. But I carry extra.
You carry extra. I carry emergency water myself, just in case I have a water emergency. 120 gallons. That's
nice.
not bad. That's not bad. They count when you look at my water capacity.
Your water tank.
They list the hot water tank, and I got a 10-gallon hot water tank.
I think mine's 6.
I can't really use all of that water out of that hot water tank, so I can use 100 gallons. But once I get down to the end of that 100 gallons, I'm going to be using a straw or something to
empty out the hot water heater.
Get out of the hot water heater. So
I gotta cook dinner. I need some water.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. There's David and Ninette. They use a water bladder. A number of people. 60 gallons.
In the back of their car, and then they just go over to wherever they can get water and fill it up and supplement their water. I
like that idea. I haven't actually seen it or put it to use, but I'll tell you what, I can see that, especially when you're trying to stay an extended period of time for 14 days on BLM. So
it's always 14 days.
Yeah, a lot of people out there doing the bladders, and I think it's a good way.
Excellent idea.
Yeah. Oh, Don's got a 75. Is that a bladder or is that in the coach? That might be in the coach. Yeah, absolutely. I think how are we doing on our list here? Did it? Okay, yeah. How about that one?
Yeah.
Work.
Yeah.
Maintenance. Yeah.
Every day.
If you think that you're going to buy a rig and you're never going to have to work on it, how's that working out for you, honey?
Yeah. Constantly. And that hailstorm did not help.
We had a hailstorm this last week, and boy,
Well, I got 2 new leaks in the roof. Once I got all the leaks fixed, then we have a hailstorm. So I have 2 more. Mm-hmm. And my poor little car has like 50 to 100 little dimple dents.
Yeah.
Because the hail was like golf ball size.
Yeah.
And it kept coming down and coming down. And I thought it'd stop, and it just didn't stop. Like 10, 15 minutes of oh shit.
I missed it, guys. I did not see it. But I came back to the carnage at the ranch.
That's my worst nightmare, is a hailstorm that's going to break things.
Yeah, there was a lot of tears, a lot of broken stuff.
Every rig in the ranch had to report to their insurance companies and figure out the damage.
I didn't.
You have dimple dents. You are already replacing your awning, and you have to replace what?
Oh, I did get some damage, but I don't.
2 AC
shrouds. Guys, it looks like somebody shot my...
With a shotgun.
Shot my AC shrouds with a shotgun. Both ACs work, and they work fine.
They're working.
But it looks like they were shot with a shotgun. It really does.
Most of the people have to replace their awnings and their slide toppers.
I got lucky.
Swiss cheese.
Yeah, I got lucky. The slide toppers were new.
They survived. Because they were new. They survived.
The old awning actually held up well, but I have an awning ordered and coming already that I already planned on replacing.
But
so I feel very fortunate.
You did lose one of your lights.
I did lose one of my lights, and I had one of my storage can doors opened up, so it was horizontal, and it got about 3 or 4 little dimple dents in it. But that was really it.
Yeah.
That was really it.
Oh, my sewer hose, Swiss cheese.
Yeah, sewer hose, guys. All I can say is Rhino. Spend the money.
I agree.
Spend the money, get the Rhino. You won't regret it. Your hoses were not very old.
They're brand new.
Yeah.
One was perfect, and the other one was the cheapie. It was full of holes.
Yeah. So just spend a little bit more and get a Rhino set up. You can get the whole kit at Walmart. I think it's about $35. How much is it?
They're more than that.
Is it? How much is it?
Just for an extension was $40.
Was it that much?
Extension hose was $40.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, they survived though.
Yeah,
they do survive.
Mine survived just fine. Haven't had it. Well, and we've had it for 4 years. Yeah, so I've been traveling around with it. So
I'm really surprised.
Yeah, so a little bit more money for that. Oh my gosh, we are coming up on the top of the hour. Do we have one more?
One more.
We have one more.
And the battery's still working.
Things that go bump in the night.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you got to think about your security. So we did a whole thing on security. We did a whole live on that. Look it up, Security 101. We talked about that. You definitely want that to be part of your travel plan for full time. You may not have needed it for your weekend warrior and your family trips and camping, but you really want to think about security. And that is the ability to lock everything up, whether it's cable locks, whether it's key locks, locks, in making sure all of those work. And then, an alarm system, a horn system. I need to add on a horn system that's electrical, because my horn on the coach is actually air.
Yeah. And
so when it's sitting for a long period, it wouldn't work if I wanted to hit that. But yeah. So did we have one more? Oh, okay. This is an option. You will not have to pay much for it, but I promise you it will come with a lot of coaches. There you go. Gremlins.
Yep.
Yep.
It's a fact.
Ask Don and Gail out there. They know. They got it. We had them. You'll have them too. I think that is going to wrap it up.
Well, Full-Time Dream just popped into the room.
Full-Time, hey, how you doing, guys? Give you a little shout out. We're just getting ready to wrap it up. So look at
Gremlins is a thing.
Yeah, Gremlins is definitely a thing.
I put a ring alarm system.
Yeah, I see that. I like that.
I never thought of that.
Absolutely. All right, guys. I think that is going to wrap it up for tonight. Unfortunately, glad that you stopped time there, Full-Time Dream. Glad that you stopped by. And Cowboy Biker Adventures, Richard M., Cosmic Mermaid, and Starman. Glad you guys are here. Who else do we have here? Richard M., Expired Up, WCRV Adventures.
Howard and Cindy.
We got
Gary and Carol.
Yep.
Wayne and Carrie. Everybody.
You guys all have a good week. We will see you this same time next week. And at some point, we have to go to the Batcave.
We do.
Yep. So that's gonna be coming up.
I'll keep working on him.
Yep.
See if we can get him to wear that man
Would you
costume.
Stop? Don't do
okay,
that.
Just the tights. Okay, just the cape. Just a cape. We can get a cape, right? I'm gonna film him riding the motorcycle down to with a cape flapping behind him. I swear to God.
Oh, I have so much fun with you guys. Glad that I hope you guys are not still here. These guys are still here. What do we got to do with you? What are you guys doing? I had to plug. Look at that. I had to plug in by a tree. So I had to plug into a tree.
The chat.
Because I knew you guys would be staying in here chatting away. Good night, everybody. We will see you next week. Now go home. The laptop died. That's what happened. So, we'll see you next week. Dave's not here. Expired up says.
Nope, computer died.
The computer died. Live life full time. We'll see you guys next week. Take care, everybody. Bye bye. Cowboys.
Lord.
Hello, is this thing on? What is it? We got.
Well, if your laptop doesn't work, you can't shut it down.
You can't. Good night, everybody. That's green. I can give you a green right there. Ended on that one. Take care, guys. See you next week. Bye bye. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye.